We all know about the three major credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. But did you know there are secondary credit bureaus that share your information with these data furnishers? Like LexisNexis, ARS, Check Systems, SageStream, Factor Trust, and I can keep going. It's probably more than 50. Today, I'm going to show you step by step how to freeze and opt out of secondary credit bureaus. And this will ensure derogatory information will more than likely be removed from your report. And in the future, it's unlikely that they'll be able to add new information. So join me on the computer and I'm going to show you step by step how to freeze and opt out of these secondary credit bureaus. All right, so before we begin opting out of those secondary credit bureaus, I just want to show you this actual list of consumer reporting companies. So this is from the CFPB website. And I'm going to have a link of this in the description so that you guys can refer back to this. But I want you to see all the different reporting agencies and what they actually do. And this list was updated for 2024. So if we scroll down, we're going to get to the first few, which is going to be, of course, the biggest ones, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, nationwide consumer reporting companies. It lets you know right here, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian reports contain personal information such as your name, date of birth, loan co-applicants, current and past residential addresses, phone numbers, and employment history. So we all know what the nationwide consumer reporting agencies are going to show on our report. But if we keep scrolling down, there's different sections. Look at this, guys. Employment screening. This is showing you all the furnishers that show who you've worked for. So employment screening companies provide information such as credit history, employment, salary, and education and professional license verification to employers. So right here, accurate background, ADP screening, backgroundchecks.com, Blend Insights, CCC Verify. They're all here. Check R. I mean, if any of you have done background checks, you probably have seen these names before. These people not only do background checks for you, they furnish this information and share it with credit bureaus. Hire Right. Let's just keep going so we can get a few of these. All right, tenant screening. So if you have an eviction, there are actually data furnishers that share this information, right? So tenant screening companies provide information such as your credit history, eviction information, rental payment history, identity verification, income and employment verification, criminal background data. So right here, Appfolio, Contemporary Information Corp, Experian Rent Bureau, all of these places are reporting that information, right? And they're sharing that with credit bureaus. Check and bank account screening. Banks and credit unions use checks and banking screening reports to help decide whether to offer you a checking account. So, all right. In this situation, guys, if you've ever been with like Bank of America, Chase, a different bank, and they've maybe you had an account that was overdrawn, it was closed. They have this report that they send to other banks, and then all of a sudden, you're not able to actually get accounts with different banks, right? These are the secondary credit bureaus, data furnishers that share this information. So it's good for you to know exactly who's sharing your information about what. And if you want to, there are so many that you guys can look at and opt out from. Personal property, insurance, a medical. If you guys have medical bills, these are the people who furnish those bills, right? If they are not able to share them with the credit reporting agencies, then they can't add new information to your credit report. So it's just good to be aware of this information. I think that it's important for you guys to actually know. Just to give you a personal story of my own, when I was trying to do DIY credit repair for just me, I looked up a lot of information about secondary credit bureaus. Some people said that it was important to opt out or freeze them. Certain people say it doesn't matter. I can give you my own personal testimony. My own personal testimony is that I had a charge off with First Premier Bank. I think I had to create an account with Innovis. When I did, I saw my Innovis report. The report actually showed that I had a delinquency with First Premier Bank. That's the only one that they had on there. I had them remove it and delete it from Innovis. I went back and disputed with Experian, and the account got deleted. So whether this works or it doesn't work, it just makes sense to check every single box. Why not? Especially because we're going to do this so fast. So that's my own personal testimony. I never give out any synthetic information. Any information I share it because I've personally done it myself. So let's start with the first company to opt out of, which will be LexisNexis. And again, guys, in the description, I'm going to link all of these. So you can just click on the link and you can follow along with me and you're able to do that. But here it is. It's the LexisNexis Opt Out Form. So welcome. This form will assist you in opting yourself and family members living at your address out of LexisNexis data products. Please understand that by opting out, you may experience future difficulties using online systems for such things as instant identity and insurance verification. Please note that your information will remain in the following products and services: restricted public records products, which are available to law enforcement entities, products regulated by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, third-party data available through real-time gateway news, and legal documents. All right. So just be aware that when you're opting out of these, you usually, when you're doing verification questions, they pull the questions from LexisNexis. So if they can't pull the questions, they may have a harder time being able to identify you, but they also have a harder time finding any derogatory information. So it works both ways. And by doing this, there are some people who still have access to it. And in like law enforcement is an example. They'll still be able to have access to this. So if we click on next, here are the instructions, and let's just skip past that. So the opt-out reason, we're going to choose, I do not want my information shared. It's just as simple as that. So your personal information will be removed from consumer-oriented data sources. And just for the heck of it, if you want to say I am law enforcement, that's an option. I am a victim of identity theft. You could put the report number here if you wanted to. You can also do, other. It kind of just depends on exactly what your situation is. But either way, we'll just go with I don't want to share my information. Next. Here, you're going to enter your first name, last name, and you can enter your social here. Then you're going to go to next. You're going to enter your address, which could be 1234 Test Lane. City of, what city? I want to be from Chicago. State of Illinois. Just putting in any information. And then you want to provide a follow-up for communication. They're going to send you a letter in the mail just confirming the request. And then you can confirm the request and then you'll get your confirmation, right? So as long as that information is all correct, they'll be able to suppress everything that you have on there. So please note that it may take up to 30 days to suppress your information from LexisNexis products and services. Please note that your information will remain in the following products and services: restricted public record products, which are available to commercial and government entities. Now, remember, the credit bureaus are not government entities that meet LexisNexis credentialing requirements and are used to detect and prevent fraud, enforce transactions, perform due diligence, and other critical business and government functions. So that's like the most important thing that we actually need. It does say products regulated by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, third-party data available through real-time gateway news, and legal documents. So we know that they're going to actually have that as well. And this suppression request does not expire, and LexisNexis will attempt to suppress all the information available based on the information that you provided. So there are going to be varying information that you might have, which is going to be your personal and public record. Like, for example, if you move and you're at a new address, you may want to, like, every once in a while, check on this and see if you need to opt out again if you get a lot of new information. I would just check on it maybe every 3 to 4 years. Excuse me. With that being said, if you wanted to opt back in, you can contact LexisNexis and opt back in if you ever want to do that with your information. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, next one we're looking at is SageStream. So opt out and opt in, they are now a part of LexisNexis, but we still want to opt out of them separately. Let's do the opt out electronic form. And here it's the same thing, guys. This one is just a one pager. You enter your first name, middle name, last name, date of birth, your social, your phone number, your email, address line 1. If you have like a unit number or anything else to add, you want to add that here in line 2. Your city, your state, state of residence, your zip code, your driver's license number, and the driver license state. And then I'd like to opt out permanently. Now, if you want to opt in, there's an option for that as well. For this one, I'm not going to enter the information because it's just one page. So there's nothing really to show you beyond when you opt out. You just click I'm not a robot, you submit, and then that'll complete the opt out portion for SageStream. If you want to make sure, definitely read all the instructions. Note you must be 18, and the information contained on this page applies to individuals who would like to request a SageStream opt-out. If you would like additional information, then you can, contact their privacy policy or click there to actually learn more. But now that takes care of 2 of the secondary bureaus that we need, and then we're going to be going to the next one. All right, so we're looking at the next one, which will be Innovis. And opt out, opt in. Do you want to opt out or opt in to receiving firm offers or credit or insurance that are not initiated by you? So right now, guys, they're always going to let you know that you can opt out or opt back in. So just so you know, this isn't like if you do it one time, you can't go back. You can always go back and opt in if you so choose. So we're going to go to this here. And again, I'm just going to repeat. I'm going to put the link in the description so that you can just click on it and you can do it with me. All right, so let's go here. And here it's letting you know optoutprescreen.com. They're working with Innovis, and it lets you know here Equifax, Experian, Innovis, TransUnion. So optoutprescreen.com is the official consumer reporting industry website to accept and process requests from consumers to opt in or opt out of firm offers or credit insurances. So we're going to click here to opt out or opt in, and we're going to electronically opt out for 5 years. If you want to permanently opt out, you have to do it by mail. So let's do it for 5 years online. And then this one is the same as SageStream. It's a one pager. All right. So please provide your personal information. And just like the prior ones, we're going to enter our first name. We're going to enter our last name. We're going to enter our social. We're going to enter our date of birth. We're going to enter our street address with our apartment or suite number, our city, our state, our zip code, our telephone number, and then we're going to do the security to make sure that we're not a bot, and then we're going to confirm. So I confirm my request to exclude my name on lists used for firm offers of credit or insurance. I hereby affirm that all information entered is my own and true to the best of my knowledge. So guys, it's very important, if you never watched my video on how to remove personal information, to make sure that you delete all the old personal information. I probably will link that here. Delete the old personal information, and then make sure that you're able to come here and put the correct address and all the we want one address, we want one name. We want to make sure all this is congruent, because it's really important that it is when you're opting out. All right, so that will have us opt out of Innovis, right, for 5 years. And if you want to do it permanently, click that option and you can do it by mail. All right, the next one that we're going to go to, Factor Trust. Now, Factor Trust lets you know that it's a subsidiary of TransUnion. So Factor Trust Consumer Inquiry. Factor Trust is a consumer reporting agency that provides consumer reports to third parties for the purpose of credit risk assessment and or other purposes as permitted by law. All right. You can request a copy of your credit report from them. I recommend doing this so you can actually see what's on the secondary credit bureaus. But here we can actually go here and we can we can request that security freeze. There we go. I'm gonna click on this opt out option first. So for Factor Trust, you go to opt in or opt out, and this is the electronic one. Just like the previous one with Innovis, you can electronically opt out for 5 years. All right. Now to exercise that option, they let you know that you need to provide your personal information just like all the other ones, right? So we can go ahead and submit. We click that submit button, and now we can fill in all the information. And again, this is the single page. First name, last name, your social, date of birth, your address, your email. Enter all that information in, your state, your zip code. By confirming this 5-year opt-out request, your name will not be eligible for firm offers of credit or insurance for 5 years. To accept 5 years opt-out, select confirm, and then to cancel the request, select cancel. All right. And again, guys, the description, every link, you can always opt back in if you so choose. And just going back to Factor Trust one more time, because we went to the opt-out of pre-screen offers, and I just want to look at some additional things here. If there was anything else, a security freeze. You can request and manage your security freeze online. Let's do this one too. So for the security freeze, a security freeze, sometimes referred to as a credit freeze or a consumer report freeze, is the best way to help prevent new loans from being opened in your name. So you can add a freeze for free. And same thing, you enter your first name, you enter your middle name, it's optional, last name, your email, your social, your date of birth, your address, your city, your state, your zip code. Have you lived here for over 6 months? If you have, then click yes. Remember, we want to make sure to use all the same information. This only really works if all the information is the exact same, reporting to everyone. So please use the same email, same information, and then continue to verify identity. I believe for this one, it's also another one pager. So once you do it, it's done. And like before, guys, you have the option to opt back in if you so choose. You can also come back to this exact place and you can unfreeze that information if you would like to unfreeze it. None of this is permanent. You can always go back and change it whenever you so choose. So the last one that we're going to be looking at is ARS, Advanced Resolution Services. So add a security freeze. And just like the other ones, it's letting you know exactly your right to freeze this information and who's filling this out. We're the consumer. You're going to agree and continue. And then again, for this one, I'll actually enter information. And I'm just entering the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, test lane, let's say city of Chicago, state of Illinois, phone number, let's do email, test@test.com. And let's continue. All right, so please fill out the required fields below, marked with an asterisk. Required by, and then end freeze date is optional. So to put a time frame on the security freeze and end date, if you don't want to put an end date, leave it blank. So on the next screen, They are requiring documentation. You need to add either your driver's license or your state issued ID. So I was able to attach a document to continue. So we have my information here: name, address, email, phone number, social. Just make sure that everything matches. We don't have a freeze end date. And then we added our documentation, our physical ID or our passport. And then terms of service: summary of your rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and then summary of identity theft rights of the consumer. So go ahead, if you want to read over that, then you can. And then you would just click I agree. I am not a robot. Submit the request for the security freeze. Right. So I'm just going to leave it on this page because next page is 6 and then everything is complete. So that takes care of all the major secondary credit bureaus. Again, I've been told that this works for some people. I've been told that it doesn't matter. In my experience, this did help me get a charge off deleted. So from my personal experience, I believe that this can greatly increase your chances of getting any information that's derogatory off of your credit report, especially charge-offs. And in the future, there's a lot of other data furnishers that you'll see that can also put other information out there. So the best thing that you could do is go back to the CFPB when you get a chance after opting out of all of these, read over the other credit bureaus. There's a lot of data furnishers out here that are sharing your information without your permission, and you just want to make sure that you're controlling what information goes out. The more control you have over the information that goes out, the more control you have over your credit report, and this will greatly increase your chances of approvals, getting bank accounts, getting derogatory information off. There's a lot of things that go into this, and the more information you have, the better that you'll actually be. The more you know, the more that you can make sure that your credit is going to be top notch. So I hope this was able to help you guys. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. I'm going to do a link to some of my other videos here if you haven't seen them. And I have an in-depth video, very, very good one coming for you next week. You guys have a great day and thank you for your support.